I'm learning as I go. Okay, guys, sorry about the inconvenience. We was just trying to figure out some
Right.
technical difficulties. We're going to go back to where we were. So sorry about that. I am now going to pull up your website because I feel like it's a disadvantage for you to, not have everything that you want to show. So I'm going to pull it up and let you explain it through. This is the first time I've ever done this, so we just gonna navigate this through. I'm gonna share my screen. Okay, so all I want you to do is watch. Tell me if you cannot see it, okay?
Right. But I don't see anything yet. Okay, let me see.
Do you see yourself?
I can still see myself and you.
Do you see this?
Yes.
Perfect. It works. So, where am I going? Navigate me through this. Am I going down? Is there down? Let me see. Is exhibit A, E, 1 through 26? Where am
I'm
I
not
going?
sure.
So let's just go through it. Let's go through it.
I would have to look at the appendix, but yeah.
Bear with me. So I'll make sure everything pulls up for you. At least I'm try.
Right. Like I said, I would have to look at the appendix to say go to such and such.
I get it. I get it.
All
I'm
right.
trying to see if it.
Trying to get the deputy go off his deposition.
Okay, let's see. Let's see. Trying to see how to turn to the next page because it looks like you got a few things going on right here.
Right. That's exhibit E.
Yeah, but it should be pages I can turn to get to exhibit 95. Could you see how it says page 1 and 95? I'm trying to figure out
Right.
how I would get to the next page. There's no. Oh, here we go. Here we go. It's over there. Sorry, your face was in the way and I could not see it. Let me move you over. People can't see that, but I'm looking at you through a different set of eyes right here. So tell me when to slow down.
But you can keep going. I'm trying to find the appendix. The appendix will tell me where you are.
So we have appendix A through E. We have appendix 1 through 26. We have appendix 27 through 66, and just should connect.
Well, this is not it.
All right, now, okay, let's go to
Now
the
let's
next
see.
one. All right, it's the next one.
Right.
This is photos provided. Hold on.
Investigation report supplement. Let me see that investigation report supplement.
Okay, hold on. My Wi-Fi is bugging because it just kind of went past that. So let's see. Okay, should be the next one up. All right, where you see that at? Investigation. I gotta go up again. I feel like flies picked the perfect day for them to start trying to. There we go. I see it right here. Right? Can I click that? Okay, should be popping up. Should be popping up. I'm wondering if it's the title of. So you see how you have the title up here? I wonder if the video under it is what it is, or is it? Let me see. Let me go up a little bit because I feel like if I hit that under it, it's going to be the phone conversation records, and you want the investigation. So let me do this. I think it's this above it that should pop up. I want the one I want is the one that's taking forever to load. Isn't that amazing? All right. This looks like the one I want right here. You said the investigation report supplement. Mm. You can still see me, right?
I can still see it.
Okay. Okay. Waiting for it to come. I feel like it's gonna get here. Bear with me. Bear with me, guys.
No problem. I'm just reaching for something.
She should definitely be pulling up some type of images. Okay, they coming. They coming. They coming. Okay. All right. You see it? Is that does
Uh,
that look like something?
I barely see it. I was trying to.
Let me. Don't worry. I'm up. Zoom in. Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's the first page. Go to the next page.
Okay.
So you can see the charge: aggravated assault, false imprisonment, domestic battery, depriving communication. All those were dropped except the false imprisonment.
That's what you need.
Okay, now you see right here where it says 7856. Arrived at 7856 in Georgia Drive and met with Deputy Kunzo, who he's the one
Are you
who
talking about right here? I don't know if you can
right.
see my
I'm
mouse.
yeah. Well, I'm reading from I'm working it myself,
Okay.
and I'm reading from second one under 324 at 2050 to 2045 hours. I arrived at 7856 Endura Drive. I met with Deputy Kunzo. That's the one that falsified the documents, and Deputy Pelford. That was his father's a captain of parole, Deputy Pelford. He's a rookie, and it says goes on. It says who updated me on the case. Forensic technician Justice Jarecki, badge number 2428, was also present processing the scene. I learned that the suspect had been transported to the Sarasota Memorial Hospital. Now, if you notice that it says that she was at the scene processing the scene, right?
Mm-hmm.
Forensic technician Justice Jared. Now, notice that in Kenzel's deposition, he says, and Pelford says, oh, she never showed up. Now, those are the photos, actual photos that I saw that my attorney, James Siegfried, showed me the day he saw me about a month later.
Mm-hmm.
Now, remember, those photos don't exist, but he showed them to me. And now he gives me these paper color copy photos of a second stage of a stage crime scene, of a second set of photos. So how can you trust that court appointed James Charles Siegfried to represent you as your attorney? When you saw it and he showed you these photos, you cannot trust somebody like that. So you don't know what to do. So
Definitely. Definitely.
I wanted to show you all that part. You see, I wanted to show you all.
Is there another part you want me to continue scrolling or get
Well,
out of this one?
if you can find uh now I'm done with this part. I'm done with this
You're done
part.
with this. So get out of this?
Right, get out of that. And if you could go to uh Deputy Tuck deposition. Or a matter of fact, you can go to a Deputy Goloff deposition. Can you find Deputy Goloff deposition?
Deputy Goloff. 1 second. Tell me if you see it too, okay? Because I'm scrolling.
Um, what is it? Well, I'm trying to. It's hard for me to see because it's like I gotta
No,
blow it
but
up.
you got titles at the bottom. So that's why I'm looking for the name Deputy Goloff.
Right, it's a deposition, and if you see a deposition with his name on it, Deputy Goloff.
Here you go. Here you go. I see a deposition. I see a Joshua. I see a Barbara. I see. Hold on. I see a Paul. Let me see if there's another
Oh, yes.
deposition. See a Kiernan T Smart.
That's right. But we're looking for Deputy Goloff. I see him as you said too.
Okay. Just making sure you see it because I know you said you couldn't see.
Okay.
Joshua in motion rehearing. Nope, I don't see it.
Did you see Pelfrey? You saw Pelfrey, right? Joshua
Okay.
Pelfrey? Yeah, you just said
Yeah.
Josh. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, bring his
Open it.
up. And he says he never saw any bladed instruments. He said the only thing he saw was a knife between the tub latch. Now remember, we just saw the knife between the tub latch, on the tub latch between the curtains. Remember that? We saw
I
that.
remember.
But he said there was no other bladed instruments.
All right, here we go.
And he was never, so we need to find that. They never used them in the trial. So let's turn some pages and see can we find where he made his statement. So you got to keep going. This is page 1. Yeah, you just keep going. And just keep going.
Let me just scroll. Sorry.
Keep going. Keep going. You can keep going. Let me see. Some things I underline stuff. Let me see. There was for the women who had. All right, just scroll up a little bit more. We're trying to find the part where he's talking about he didn't see any bladed instruments. You can keep going. We see afterwards, but most of the you can keep going. And you can look for it too. He's going to talk about let me see what I got underlined here. False imprisonment. He said, look back. Let me see. Did you have? I was trying to read the questions from the attorney where it says Q.
Yeah, I see it. Let's talk about that. Did you have a discussion with any of your superiors at the time as to what the appropriate charge would be?
Now keep going until they start talking about knives. You're going to ask them a question about some knives. If you see it, then the question with the attorney is ask them a question about some knives. Ask, did you see any? And he's going to ask, did you see any knives or something in the house? Is what he said. I apologize.
Sorry, I'm scrolling because I didn't see it, and I'm looking for where you underline too, because I'm sure you would make the note of that. No. Oh, there's nothing here, right? That misunderstood coming out of the ones.
Yeah, he's going to ask if you see any like bladed instruments. He said, well.
1 second. I feel like we're getting close. Give me 1 second. Did you find anything? We found a bloody knife in the bathroom hiding in the shower curtain area. Do you see that?
Okay.
It's on 8 and 9, line 8 and 9.
Okay. Could you read on? So let's keep reading.
Okay, we also found that the phones had been stripped of their batteries. We found, we found, those were the 2 key elements, the phone being stripped of their batteries. He was trying to deprive her of communication or trying to keep people from calling in. Question, did you take those phones into evidence? We photographed them, I know that. I'm not sure if forensics later took them into evidence or another deputy secured them. I myself don't recall doing that. I do recall taking the knife into evidence. Knife.
He said a knife into evidence. Okay, keep going.
Okay.
Because he said he didn't see any other bladed instruments.
How many phones? I don't remember the exact number. It's been several months. A question, was it more than one, if you know? Oh, yes, it was more than one, but I'm not sure of how many. I believe it was a house phone and a cell phone, at least.
Okay, now you're getting
Um,
close.
were there any was it scissors? Was you said scissors? Because it looks a little scratched out. Is it was there any scissors that you noticed that were on the floor? Come on, bugs.
Now remember,
I'm sorry. I'm trying to recall, but I cannot recollect with absolute clarity. No.
now
Were there any?
there was a photo I don't have with me that showed scissors on the bathroom floor. I mean, on the kitchen
Would,
floor.
would it be on your website or no?
The picture of the scissors would be with all the photos, yeah. But keep reading where he says he don't remember seeing any other bladed instrument. You're getting close.
Okay, hold on. I'm sorry. I kind of lost where I was at. 1 second.
I was trying to recall, but I can't recollect. Were there any
Okay.
knives?
Yeah, on or about the floor or in the kitchen that you saw on the counter. Answer, compared to the bloody knife we found in the bathroom, I don't recall any other weapons in particular. I don't recall any other bladed items.
There you go. There you go.
Mm.
So if he don't recall any of the bladed items, he was there with Kenzo. And the only thing he recalls is a knife that you cite in the photo that there's not a 8-inch serrated steak knife that I saw in property when my day of my trial. So now we're looking at a parent knife with no serrations on it on the tub ledge. Those are all inconsistencies, and even the officer is saying he didn't see any of this stuff on the kitchen floor. Nothing,
Mm.
and he
Mm-hmm.
wasn't there. And he wasn't there to testify. Just like the doctor that was in my favor supposed to have been there to testify. He wasn't there either. There was no one there but me. So this is he was trying to just simply railroad me.
He's also according to the statement and what it sounds like, he's trying to rely on his lack of memory because it's been several months. So if there was or wasn't, he's trying to disconnect himself from what actually was the situation, what actually he saw. He's trying to lean on the notion of I can't remember, I'm not too
Right.
sure. It was a while ago.
Right.
It's not a definitive. No, there wasn't no kitchen knives. It's as I recollect, which could be wrong, could be up to debate that I don't remember. So it's still it's closer than him saying there could have been. He's saying no, I don't recall. So I guess we could take our pennies, where we can get them. Is there another area would you want me to reach, or you want me to go to the photos to see if that
Uh,
knife, the scissors? I mean,
yeah, I want you to go to Deputy Goloff deposition if you can find
yeah,
it.
there's no goal off. I don't see goal off. I see a lot of deputies, but I don't see. I mean, depositions. I don't see goal off.
He's definitely in
Now, if
there.
you see it, please inform me. But I do not see goal off. Let me see. Let me see if I type it in. Spell the goal off, please.
I believe it's
Make the
spelled
number.
Golloff. Either one F, maybe two Fs.
All right, let me do one F. Okay, let's start with the GOL. Okay. No, that doesn't. Let's go back. Let's go back. And I don't think it's on this one because I know that's your bread and butter right there. So I'm gonna go over everything again. Right, those are hands.
Hold on.
Uh-huh. Sorry, 1 second. Yeah, I'm seeing go off. I see Dizzy. I see Paul B. Dizzy, if I'm saying it right. I
Yeah. All
see
right.
Karen Smart,
Uh,
Barbara, Joshua. You got two Joshuas on here, so
you said okay.
there's two of them on here. Witness statement of March. Michael Pratt. Oh, sorry, Prickett. Sorry. Phone conversation. Court reporter. Progress docket report. Trial transcripts. Investigation report supplement, trial transcript, uh, Jessica.
Yeah,
I can't. Yeah, I don't want. I don't want to butcher it. Trial transcripts, exhibit. This is the photos. But it's in black and white. But we're gonna try our best.
yeah. Well, there's some in black and white, and there's some in color.
Okay.
So you're looking for the scissors. You're looking for the scissors on the floor. So you do have some in that's in color too. So if you keep scrolling, then you go past all that. Those are black and white. That's a double edge. You can't see it. I was trying to show something, but
That's it.
I think
That's
it'll
it.
be, but it would be in um, volume. It would be volume 7.
All right.
Volume.
It's right here. Let's see what we got right here.
Okay, now you're gonna see photos. It's coming up soon. They're gonna be in black and white, and they're gonna be in color.
I think it's this. Yeah, it's supposed to be coming up.
Okay, keep going.
Oops, sorry.
That's the
Sorry.
outside. Now you keep going. That's just outside of the house. Now it's gonna come in color. There's gonna come another part in black and white. This is just outside the house. I live 7056 Indoor Drive, and just keep going. See, all this is sunlight. I was versus the nighttime. That's what I was trying to show.
That
So
picture.
you can,
Color.
right. That's the picture that we saw. So you can see them better now.
Mm-hmm.
And
What is this?
I sure hope that they. Sure hope I put them in here. Keep going.
Oh, it's right here. The sea scissors.
Oh, you see them?
They're right there.
Okay, keep
I'm
going
gonna
to
yeah, I
the
was
color.
gonna keep scrolling. There you go.
You see the scissors, right?
Hmm?
He said that there was no scissors, no instruments on the floor. Remember he said that?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So now you see they put these scissors when Charles Ziegfeld showed me these photos before, there was none of that. Now what you're looking at right here, keep going to the color. You're looking at a paring knife. You see that's a paring knife.
Mm-hmm.
Cookbook. And if you went back to remember the photo of the kitchen, and this is a cookbook right here, right? And there's a
Yeah.
knife. Now you're looking at 6 knives. You got 2 here, 3
You
on
got
the
three
dining
on
room
the. You
floor,
got three in the bathroom,
1 in the
right?
bathroom,
No.
one in
Yes,
the
one in the bathroom, three on the floor, two right
and
here.
that's 6. This is a paring knife. This is the same knife that you saw on the tub
The ledge of
ledge.
on the ledge of the tub, right?
That's right, on the tub ledge. The same one you saw on the tub ledge. You see, now if you go back to and this is you saw this one already, the 3 knives in the sunlight. But if you go back to the first photo with the one with the house and the inside of
Yeah,
the
give me 1 second. Let me just get through these, and then I'm gonna go right back up to the top. One
right
second.
of the so now they're
Right
showing the reason they're showing a
that it's
knife block,
missing.
right? They're showing a knife block, showing what's missing. So if you got scissors missing, but you got 6 knives, there's 3 slots where knives go. That's scissors.
Okay.
And this is the photo you saw earlier.
Yeah,
Oh, here we go.
I thought it was gonna be a
Okay,
color
now this
version
is
at
it
the
right here.
bottom.
Now,
That's why I'm
this is
saying.
weird. Huh? What'd you say?
No, I was saying I thought it was the color version right under this one, so that's why I kept going.
Okay, but no, just keep going and go back to the kitchen. You see it? The first photo I showed you earlier. Now, way in the back, there's a toast oven, and you can hardly see it. There's a cookbook. There's no
Yeah,
knives right
let
there.
me get the clear version of this one, and because I think it's a better one at the top of this.
Okay,
Because that one's a little bit distorted and far away, but that's the
right,
color version of what we saw.
right. Now the one I have, you can the one I'm holding, you can see the cookbook back there, and there's no knives back. So now you got
Mm.
a photo with 2 knives and the photo with no knives. And the back by the cookbook.
Interesting. What's that? Like a single drop? What is it on?
That's blood on the stove. Another drop of blood, squiggly lines they drew.
Yeah. So
yeah. This is the knife on the tub ledge that you saw.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be a parent knife that you also saw by the cookbook. So now we got a parent knife by the cookbook and on the tub ledge. And they supposed to took off a 8-inch serrated steak knife. Again, that's the handprints.
One that we discussed earlier. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. That looks pink to me. Those are the drops of blood on the floor. They claim it's in the bathroom, but well, it doesn't say where. It doesn't show any stool, tub. Now, right here, and if you notice this picture right here, it's supposed to be a drop of blood on the surface of a rug. It's floating on the rug. We don't even have a rug in the house.
Yes, it's supposed to be embedded. It's supposed to be embedded. It's more embedded, especially for that to be a dark rug. That's a darker rug.
How they did. And you saw this one. I don't know how they did that rug thing. Now, this is me right here. When they said that I cut myself and injured myself, they put me in the crazy place and put me on a smock. And so that's what I'm trying to say. The doctor had cleared me and said, oh, he's fine. It's not wrong with him. You see, because I explained to him what happened. So they turn around and they take me and they say, I said, wait a minute, man. I'm cleared. The doctor said, I told him what happened and what's going on. See, what happened to the Sarasota Sheriff Department is the ones who filed the involuntary report saying that I wanted to kill myself. I wanted to stab her in the chest 5 times. Remember I told you that?
I remember.
Right.
1 second.
Now, on my arm, I have no cuts on my upper arm.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what are they measuring?
The injury is on the wrist. This is Photoshop. The Photoshop is on my upper arm. That's Photoshop. I have no cuts on my arm and scratches, whatever. No cuts, no scratches. They Photoshop that.
What year was this?
March the 24th, 2009. So this is Justice Gujarecki. This is a shot of my wrist when I got injured when I was reaching in to grab the knife.
I don't even see that. Like, to be honest with you, I don't know what they're measuring. Let me slide. Oh, okay, I see it. I'm sorry. I was looking at the top of the arm. I'm like, what are they doing?
The stuff around the wrist is dermal bond. The reason it opened back up again is because the police put the handcuffs back on. And it moved back and forth. This is supposed to be the injury, the only injury right here when I reached in. And this is supposed to have been bleeding, all that stuff that you see. It's supposed to be coming out.
It should have been a lot worse than this. But then, did they clean you before this picture?
No. When I went in to the hospital, the nurse cleaned the area, and there was no blood, because I wasn't bleeding. It was just that one drop of blood I told you about at the base of the toilet. So now right here, you're gonna see another. Keep going up.
Yeah, I'm looking for the color. I don't know if it's gonna pop up here.
Yeah, where is it?
Something here, guys. 1 second. I'm sorry, this eye right here is like leaking right now. Sheesh. Hold on. 1 second. Let's see what's going on. For some reason, it did not load. I don't know if it was just something with my computer, but I'm on my way up.
Unfortunately, deposition didn't show up. Oh, here we go.
Something.
Right here.
This is it?
Yeah, go back. Right. Can you come a little closer, zoom in? Can you zoom in?
Yes,
Now
I
you see
can.
the injury on, you see this red stuff? You keep zooming some more. You see what they told me, the person that does Photoshop, and he said what they did, he said they took the black part off of here. They, how did he explain it to me? They copied it and they pasted and they lifted this and they put it here, the little black spot here. And that's supposed to be a scab. That's supposed to then be a scab, right? And then the little things on the side look like cuts and scratches. Like you see the little black part here, that's the bend of my
Yeah,
arm,
do
like
you
you
see
see.
my hand? Yeah, I can
And
see right here. I don't know if you can
this red
see.
stuff, they photoshopped that. The red stuff you
Mm.
see is all photoshopped. That's all
Mm.
Photoshop.
Well, let me zoom back out. Okay, let's keep going. Same thing, but look farther away. Plus from your wrist. And black and white version of that. Okay, so let me go back up because you wanted to see the front of the house again. So let me go
No, I
up.
didn't want to see the front of the house. I wanted to see the house itself, which we already saw it. And we saw the scissors on the
Oh,
floor. But the deputy said he didn't see any scissors. So we saw all that. So we proved that the
that
deputy
was the
said
scissors. That was
there
the
was no,
scissors.
right, there's a scissors. And he said there was no instruments, no bladed instruments anyway. That means that there was no other knives. There was no knives in the dining room, those three knives. There was no knives sitting on the countertop by that cookbook. That's what the deputy said. So if the deputy would have been there to explain that story, it could have helped. If the doctor was there, he could have said
It
that,
could.
listen, that's not blood. And there's no way that this man could have bled that much on something like this. You got this stuff everywhere. There was no
Is there
arteries of any.
anything? Is there anything on here that you want me to open up?
At the time I wanted to see, could you find a deputy go up, but you say you couldn't find.
Mm-mm. But
Uh,
other than that, is there anything else?
well, um, I don't know. I guess the rest they can see for themselves. But again, like Deputy Edward Kunzel said that he didn't touch or move anything. And though we know he touched and moved things by looking at those
Hold on,
photos.
let me go to the next batch because you still have a lot more. So let me just see if I can see go off on the last page
Right.
because I do
And then
want to not be sharing too much
the,
and
the,
let you go.
the appendix is supposed to be in the back of something, and it will tell you exactly which number to go to. But and and and, and even my own attorney, like I said, even my own attorney had said that
I see go off. I see go off.
good, good. We're gonna read.
He's on the yeah, let it load because I do see his name. He's deposition July 2nd, 2009, Deputy Hayden Goloff. Once
Right.
it loads, I will click it and we'll go into that. So thank God we found
And
it. I forgot you had another page.
hopefully we can find an involuntary the Sarasota Sheriff's Department office a voluntary form that he wrote. You see, they should all be together. You see that involuntary form, the Sarasota Sheriff. It's in abbreviation
Look,
Sarasota
it
Sheriff
it should be
Office involuntary
involved.
that he wrote. And then he wrote it and it turns around and said, oh no, he didn't
Yes,
say
I
that.
see it. I see report of
Okay,
I see
okay.
it. Sorry. I
I
see report of
pulled that up
law
too.
enforcement office.
Right.
Okay, one
So
second.
we want to pull that up first.
Hold on. Let me just read it. Let me just read it. A report of law enforcement office initiating involuntary examination. So we're gonna do that first because I'm already here. So once it loads up, I can do that. Do the deputy go off, and then I'm gonna close out for you to be on the full screen because right now I'm just still sharing.
Okay.
So I don't know how people view this while I'm doing this because, like I said, I've never done this before, so I don't know how it's being viewed.
I'm glad you
Well, as
can
long as
do
you
it.
said you Yeah, who you telling? Who you telling? I never even thought to
I should
try.
have.
Never
I
even thought
should
to
have
try.
never been. I should have never. This should have never went to trial. I should have never been convicted. No, I should have never been convicted. When you looking at something that's one sided, if you want to make somebody look guilty, you can do it in this court system.
Mm-hmm.
You have your own attorney. My own
Yeah,
attorney.
my husband says you can indict a ham sandwich.
You
Like,
can indict a ham sandwich and get the jurors
yeah.
to believe it. The what I was gonna say, it's just a shame, you, your own attorney tells the jurors during a closing argument. I think that's volume 10, and he tells them in his closing, he says, "Is the fire department or the sheriff department or anybody else uh, is against Randall?" He says, "No." He said He said the deputy picked up the wrong knife. That's what my attorney tells the jurors. He picks up the wrong knife. How
How he
can
pick up the wrong knife?
pick up the wrong knife when it was never on the floor? You see, when it was placed on the floor, you supposed to take those knives into property, you photograph them, and then the 12-inch knife turns out to be a 10-inch butcher knife.
Mm-hmm.
He said they picked up the wrong knife. He picked up the wrong knife. So he picked up a butcher knife. But if he picked up the butcher knife, then where's the photo of it for that day? There's no photo.
Hold on, I want to go back up to go off while that's loading. There you go. I'm gonna open him up too.
And I'm not an attorney, and I'm
There
trying
we
to
go.
make. Okay, now
Hell,
read
heck yeah.
now what he go and read what Goloff wrote on the date that he dated.
I'm gonna try. That handwriting is not the best. I don't even know what the first word is.
Uh,
Is that supposed to, what is
if you
that?
zoom in, maybe I can make it out for you.
Mm.
If you can zoom it into me, maybe.
Subject stated he was going to stab his girlfriend 5 times, then stabbed himself. Then stab himself. The subject cut his own wrist with a knife. Stated if he can't have her, then no one can. So cliche. So cliche. But
So
okay.
that's what he said. He said me. So you go to his deposition, and you go to his deposition after reading this, sees what he says in his deposition. Is his deposition loaded yet?
Yes, it is, sir.
There you go. Now
Yeah.
go to his deposition, and we're gonna find what he says. My attorney is gonna ask him. James Charles Siegfried is gonna ask him. Oh, okay. So go past that page, keep going,
Hold on.
and you'll see somewhere in question he's gonna say, "Look at this." He's gonna tell him to look at this. Take your time. You might see it before I see it because I can't see it from that distance
No, I
too
got
far.
it. Let me zoom in. Sorry. Sorry.
So you might see he's gonna ask a question, and she had, and keep going till you see a question. Now he even
After taking Mr. Wright into custody, is that the part? I transported to Sarah. Hold on, Saratoga Memorial.
and he's gonna
Sarah.
ask um,
Oh,
he's gonna ask
Sarasota.
about that what he wrote.
Hold on, hold on.
You see what he said?
There you
You
go. There
see
you
what he
go. There you
said?
go. I said, okay. Did Mr. Wright make any admissions or statements to you? Answer. While at the hospital, he stated, and this is, let me move because I want to make sure I'm not missing a word. Okay. And this is all in my report. He stated he did not cut himself and that the other person in the house cut him, and that the victim, Miss O'Connor, would not let him answer the door in fear that she would be arrested for cutting him. And those were the only statements that Mr. Wright made to me.
Okay, keep now. What now is the other part about that report?
Yeah, I think. Hold on, because I don't want to miss it.
Okay.
Because
Right here, that's it right there. It's underlined. I just saw it.
all right, this right here, and the reason I asked to oppose that one.
Now it was do you something you had.
So it wasn't bleeding or anything like that. No, sir. You can tell it was bleeding at one time, but it has stopped bleeding. A question: you make a report
That's it.
here.
That's it. That's the
Okay,
report of a voluntary state.
okay, 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 okay. So that's what you wanted us to see, right?
Yeah, you can read that. You made a report here. What does it say?
So you made a report here, a written report. It says subject stated he was going to stab his girlfriend 5 times and stab himself. Yes, sir. Where did you get that information? A, from Miss O'Connor. Question. Okay. And she stated that he cut his own wrist. Hold on, let me scroll down.
Now he
And
said, I said it.
yeah, but she said it.
She said it, but he said, I said it. He said the subject stated. He
Mm-hmm.
didn't say she said it. So when the judge on first appearance read that, he said, oh, you crazy or something? They did that to put me in a green smock and to
Yep.
make it look like I had some issues. Now, is it starting to come together for you yet?
It's coming together because they're saying that you said it at the time. I have to reread it for myself. That the subject stated this, but then they said, "Where you get the information from, Miss O'Connor?" So that's a third party information. That means it never came from the subject. It came from Miss O'Connor.
It came from her. So it was
Mm.
designed, but when the judge read it in first appearance, I would get a higher bond, which was $500,000. And I wish you could read my. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm just reading. Go ahead.
I wish you could read the my first appearance thing when
Where
he
would it,
said, "Oh, you
where would
must
it
be
be
crazy,"
at?
huh?
Oh, that part when he said you must be crazy. Where would that be at?
That was my first appearance. I forgot what it's called, and I forgot what it's called.
It
But the
sounds like it's
judge,
gonna be a court report, the court transcripts. But go ahead.
but the judge said, "Oh," he said, "Oh, he says, oh, you want to harm yourself? You want to do this to yourself?" And I'm like, what is he talking about? Remember, because I never read any of this stuff.
Yeah, you have a detective tuck too.
Yeah,
Uh,
Detective Tuck talks about that he was called, and he told Jessica Jarecki to take photos and meet me at the hospital, which she never did. She came to, that's why you see in those photos of her hand with this tape measure, and she was the one who
mhm.
took the first set of photos, and she was at the crime scene photographing the photos. But then they saying, those two officers saying, oh, she never showed up. She never
This
showed
is
up.
a form from also detective, I think detective or Sheriff Goloff. You had at the bottom of that last chunk saying he was
Right.
dispatched to the incident location for the family disturbance after the incident, which is prescribed in the PCA. The arrest subject was transported to SMH. That's the Memorial Hospital. Sarah something I can't remember. Memorial
Sarasota,
Hospital.
Sarasota
Yeah.
Hospital, VA, which is a
Medical
Bacon.
clearance. But you never went. You never went. So this is a lie. The subject
No, no,
cut
no,
his.
no. I went. He took me to the hospital,
Okay.
but he told dispatch that I was already there.
There. Okay. Okay.
Because they
Okay.
wanted to see, you guys pull the stuff together. The reason he told them I was already there, because they want to know why a person that's injured, why is he still 2 hours still at the crime scene and have
Mm-hmm.
not been seen yet?
Mm-hmm.
You see, this is
They
like
would
a
have to
person being
justify
shot
that.
and they
Okay.
never, it's like a person being shot and they never called the ambulance to go to the hospital. I mean, to come and pick the
Yeah.
person up. You just hold them there. So what they did to me, they just held me there until they got all of the false statements, the voluntary reports saying this guy wanted to kill himself, wanted to stab his girlfriend, and
Yeah.
shots fired. Once they got their stories together and they got
Then
all
they
the
took you.
paperwork, then they took me to the hospital. But
Okay. Let me
he's
finish this. It says the subject cut his left wrist and stated he wanted to die while at the Saratoga Medical Hospital. The subject made the statement that he did not cut himself, that the other person in the house cut him. It's the same thing as before, but I'm going to continue. The subject advised the victim would not let him answer the door in fear that she would be arrested for cutting him. The subject made no other statements, and I am going to stop sharing. Once I get back to Skype. Okay. All right, you can see me. I'm not sharing, right?
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
Okay, you're not sharing anymore. Okay,
It's a
cool,
lot.
cool, cool, cool. That's interesting. That is so interesting. How, oh my gosh.
It's a
That is
lot.
crazy. This is lit. Yes, it's a lot to unpack. Like, I
Lot.
definitely gonna need to speak to you again because, like, I know that we have a time restriction on your side. So, I want to finish how we're flowing, but it's definitely gonna have to be a part two if you're up for it. If you're up for it. It's gonna
But
have to
this
be.
time, but this
It's a
time, you
lot
know
to
what I'm gonna do?
unpack.
I'm gonna bring my entire file with me this time
Okay, okay, because we
because
definitely have to
I
have
can
a part
find
two.
it
I
myself
didn't even
quick.
ask the other questions I had in store for you.
But see, they were. If the jurors would have heard all of this stuff and seen, let me tell you, Dr. Mark Mahoney would have been a key witness.
Why
He could
didn't
have,
you defend yourself? Why didn't you defend yourself?
because what's the saying about a client that's his own
It's a
attorney?
fool.
Fool. Listen, I didn't know anything about law.
You
They would
learned
have,
this after. You
they
learned
would
all
have,
this after that.
huh?
Yeah. You learned this after the fact, right?
Yeah, I found all this stuff out after the fact. This is after the prosecution already closed. They would have
But you
raped me.
can't. Of course. But you can't fight that now because wouldn't that be like I don't know if it's called double jeopardy. Like
No,
you
no, no.
can't.
It's in the federal courts pending 6 months. It's been there 6 months pending. This is why I have to raise money to actually get a federal attorney that will make sure that I wrote everything correctly. But it's like it's just sitting there.
Do you
Now,
have
if
a GoFundMe account?
say that again,
Have you started a GoFundMe account?
I never heard of it. That's why I said what? I never heard of it. But like I said, if you read
I'll explain it to you.
before you answer that, if you took a little time, maybe an hour for a couple of days, and you read the beginning of my website, it right there in the beginning will show you exactly when I submitted that paperwork to the courts. It will also show you what I wrote to the court, to the federal courts of 2254. If you just read that, you'll say, because I put everything in order and all the and documents that tell you where to go to see this, where to go to find that. And then you will say, once you read all that, you'll say, now I understand. Because I wrote it out so clear and plain and tell you exactly what appendix to go to, where to find it, what page number, what line to find it on. Because there's so much. And if a judge really looked at it, he or she was saying, that there was some constitutional violations. Because did you realize that if an officer goes into a trial and he lies at trial, and there's a deposition that's done, and that's a felon. That's a felon. He
Hmm.
can't do, especially if there is a deposition done. Now he can go to trial and lie and found out that he was lying, nothing is done to him. But if there's a deposition and he says something different than deposition, then therefore he's lying. Even Desi, like I said, if you read what I submitted to the federal courts on Paul Desi, you'll see that what he did, he lied. He changed what he said in his deposition and what he said in the courtroom, and what he said in the trial is two different things. He was saying
Hmm.
he was saying that he never on the phone when she was telling me about such things like I got a restraining order and etc. He was saying in his deposition that the phone call was so brief. Remember I said the phone cut off, and therefore he was saying that she never told him. Now when he got to trial, he changed it and said, "Oh yeah, she told him that on the phone that she had a restraining order." Now you look at the two, which I clearly pointed out. on between the deposition and the trial transcripts, I clearly pointed out. I also point out on the transcripts that the transcripts have been altered, materially altered. I show you the difference and what was said, that they said I said, and what I actually said. So they also altered or modified the transcripts because I didn't receive the transcripts almost 2 years. So they was assuming that I was going to forget, and they were right. So when I show newly discovered evidence, of course, remember I said they're going to always find something that you didn't do right, especially when you know what they did was wrong. So when you if attorney or you took the opportunity just to read it slowly, a little bit at a time, you'll start saying, "Wow, I can't believe
Stuff
this."
don't
And
make sense. It's a
you
lot
gotta
to
understand,
unpack. Even with the
why,
what 6 pages we looked at, it's just like you have to, this is all a puzzle, and you got to kind of try to match certain pieces together to be like, wait, hold up, and then sometimes you got to go back into the same form to kind of compare and contrast from them, and that's a
absolutely.
lot. Yeah.
This stuff was so convoluted. I had to take hours trying to align it and put it in order so that people could actually see what they did because it was all over the place. And if I've had trouble doing that, then maybe a trained judge would have had the same problem saying the same thing. But he's just looking at what the
The surface.
prosecution said. He's not looking at anything else. He or she's not looking at anything else. Just what the
It's the
prosecution.
surface. Hmm.
And why you ask yourself a question? Why would I put my business out on the World Wide Web and photos and let people see if I was guilty? Why would I do something like that? I just don't care. I don't
It
care that
doesn't
people.
make sense,
It
but
doesn't
if
make
they want to
sense.
follow the narrative of you crazy, then
Well,
maybe
then
they lean on that, but you're not crazy at all. You believe in your case and you stand behind it, and that's why you've done that. And I really need your story to be told, and I really need for people to really dive deep into this because there's a lot of people that's in the social media realm that does this for a living. They really try to exonerate people that should not be in the situation. Now, in your case, you're already home, but your name is still imprisonment. You get what I'm saying? Your namesake is still have that negative was it I can't even think of the name. I can't think of it, but you have that negative backlash on your name itself because they're labeling you as this criminal, as this menace to society, and
that's
that's
right.
not
That's
the
it.
case at all.
And you know what? That's not me. What you asked me earlier, what's prison done for me? Prison has brought me into a realm of reality of what's real and what's not real. And it's I don't dislike police officers. I believe in this twofold here. I believe in that we need these military men to protect our borders in our country. We need police officers to protect us as citizens, no matter if you have a misdemeanor, a felon, or whatever. I think, and they should do their job and not falsify or say, I'm going to look out for another officer if he falsified a document, if he photoshopped a photo, regardless who he is and what he did, or if he put his knee on the person's neck, or if he killed somebody, or if he shot somebody from behind, or whatever. I feel
They
they
need to
should.
hold them accountable.
I feel they shouldn't do that. They should report just like reporters. They should report the truth.
I'm
They should
sure they're
try.
mandated reporters. I am sure of it because me studying and doing the things that I do on the EMT level, we're mandated reporters. Even before that, when I was a
Yeah,
what is it direct support professional working with
right,
disabled adults, I was a mandated reporter. It doesn't
right,
change. Working with children, mandated reporter. There's
right.
certain jobs that require you to fill out those paperworks to be a mandated reporter.
So what am I doing now? I'm trying so hard. Every day I'm struggling to get my life together. I joined the church. The brothers have been good to me. It's called the Light of the World Church. They've been good to me. I'm trying to right now get my CEU license. At least try
Mm,
to drive a truck or something. If someone's going to hire me. I'm a good man. I'm a good person. I'm even
mhm.
better than I was before I got out of prison. I mean, prison has taught me how to be more humble. It's taught me to, respect people and their boundaries and how to not say anything. You know,
Yeah.
it's made me smarter in a lot of ways. A lot of things I've read since I've been in there. I'm just hoping that someone will see these videos and say, I want to give this man an opportunity, a chance for a job. I guarantee they won't be disappointed. Or in terms of driving a truck for their company, or maybe the hospital might say, you know what, I'll give you a second chance. That's been a registered respiratory therapist.
What location do you live currently right now?
I
where
live
you are?
in I live in Sarasota, Florida. Bradenton is close.
Currently right now.
I'm sorry.
Currently right now. You're in the same town.
I'm missing some words.
I'm sorry. Currently right now you're still in the same town of Sarasota?
Yes,
Okay.
Sarasota. Where I was convicted. I'm still staying in the
Yeah.
same. Sarasota is the county and the city.
Okay. Is that normal procedure for you to go for them to release you back into the same environment pretty much? Is that normal?
Yeah, man, that's pretty normal. You know, you serve your
Mhm.
time, and I feel if you serve your time, then this should not be still over your head. Uh, I believe that any employer that gives me opportunity to work for something I really want to do, they won't be disappointed. They
Mm.
won't be disappointed because I feel this is my. If you give me a second chance, I feel that
Mhm.
I can't disappoint them.
Mhm.
I have to always be the best so they can look and say, see, I gave this guy a chance, and you see what
And he
happened.
screwed it up. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you can't screw that up. You got to be there on time. You got to get along well with people. And I feel that now I'm gonna be probably taken advantage of because I just can't, I have to be the best. I can't say anything. I got to,
You
always
gotta
feel that if I say something, get into argument with someone, that's it. You know, uh, I mean, what am I doing now? I live back and forth in the Salvation Army. We pay $12
Mhm.
a night. If not
Mhm.
that, I'm sleeping on the ground. You know, trying to get my life together. There are a lot of people out there that's homeless. 98% of them have mental issues. They're alcoholics, a drug addict, or maybe prostitute. Every woman out there is not a prostitute. Maybe 2%
Exactly.
of them not. They're out there because maybe something happened to them. Maybe some man took advantage of them, took their money, and now they stranded on the street, but they still got a job. You see,
Exactly.
the streets. I might live on the streets, but I'm not straight. Every day I'm trying. I have goals set so that I can look back on this and move forward in my life. I just need a chance.
And that's the biggest thing you want to do. Your biggest focus right now is to get on your feet, start working, eventually get you. I don't know if you. I know you said that you are. You don't have your own place right now, so you're trying to get on your feet to kind of do that, and basically start connecting the pieces of your new life after prison. Am I correct by saying that?
That's right. And I don't hate any officer. I don't even hate just like the men who did to me, who did what they did to me. I forgive them. I forgive Barbara J. O'Connor, alleged victim, for the lies that she told, and etc. All I just want to do is move forward with my life. But I still want people to see and understand what could happen to them. And I hope that the judges in the federal court and the district will, when they look at my 2254, they see everything. They see everything, and it's enough for them to see.
It is a
That's all.
lot. It's a
That's
lot,
why.
and definitely, I'm definitely gonna be linking your website when I do upload this. But I know we got parts. This is literally like we're gonna have parts to this because you're not a simple interviewer. This is very complex. I've never dealt with this, and I love it at the same time because I've
So
never had to like open up, like share screens. We opening up documents, pictures. I love it. I love it.
I'm
But
learning
one
too.
thing I
I'm
did
learning
want to
too.
ask you.
I learned I should have brought my whole file with me. You
What you
know,
don't worry, we got a part two. It's all right. We're
I
gonna have part two and you're
this
gonna
time,
have it.
but you know what I'm gonna do different this time? I'm gonna have
What?
some tape or some thumbtacks that I can
I put
put the stuff up, and you see what I'm saying, so that I can just move this way, and I'm gonna have a
that
pointer.
makes, and I was thinking that too, because when you had the pen and you was just like, oh, over here, I was like, yep, perfect.
Yeah. Right.
But
You see,
when did you
it's new.
come? When did you get out? When did you get released? I don't know if you said it or I missed it, but when did you get
No, I
released?
didn't say. I got released on December the 19th, 2009. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, 2009. Yeah, 2021. December the
So
19th,
from '09
2021.
to 21.
Right.
So from March '09 to December 21.
The March the 24th, 2009. So I spent, but see, let me say this quickly. And this is the truth. I
Mm-hmm.
spent 3 years, 7 months in the Sarasota County Jail. The first day I was in jail, I was in that smog in that picture you saw. I suffer from sleep apnea. It's not really bad, but I'll stop breathing. The officer that was watching over us saw me. I wasn't breathing that night. He called the nurse. Now the Sergeant Meinberg comes in. He's now Major Meinberg. He comes in at
Mm-hmm.
night, and the smock apparently fell off me because it velcros on. The nurse was standing right down naked. And I'm looking at him like, well, how do I do this? He hits me in the chest with his fist as hard as he could, right? And I'm looking at him saying, well, why you hit me in the chest? Well, what did I do? They shackled me to the gate, put me on a plastic boat. And I woke up in the morning and asked, what did I do? And he said, oh, you was causing trouble. And I'm asking myself, what trouble? You see, now watch this. When I started doing my own case, I found out what a 1056 was, which you mean I'll meet you. So the doctor Smart said that he was there on the scene. He heard the screaming and yelling in the house. And so he called 911. And 911 operator says, what is your emergency? He didn't say anything. He just said it was a black male, 45. He got a restraining order. And then that's why it was remember that when you read the report, there was a family disturbance. And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that's why they came. It was an F-22. They came because of family disturbance. That's
Mm-hmm. I
why
seen that. Remember
that's
that.
why Deputy Duber was the first one to come to the scene. But Smart said he was there first and he heard screaming and yelling. Now remember, the prosecution, my attorney already got rid of the 911 phone call, so I couldn't read that and use as evidence. Because they wanted to say that Smart was there and Colonel Burns came up later behind it. It wasn't the case. Deputy Duber was there first. And then when Deputy Duber got there, he knocked on the door. But Smart said he was there first. So why would Smart say he was there first? Because they will set the plan. They will set this plan
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
And Smart called 911 from there, but he didn't. He called from a different location and he
Mm-hmm.
was going to meet them there. So Smart, after on this deposition, saying that next time we'll read the deposition, he says, oh, I heard screaming and yelling coming out of the house, couldn't hear his voice, but I heard him. The attorney said, what did you do next? He said, I called 911. But if he was there, then why didn't he tell the operator he heard screaming and yelling? Now, Colonel Burns was in his deposition was next. And he asked him, he said, well, the attorney asked Colonel Burns, well, what did Smart tell you? And so he said, oh, he just told me that they got a restraining order earlier and then he was a live-in person with the alleged victim. That's it. He doesn't tell him about this screaming and yelling because he was never
He
there.
was never
And
there.
he was
He was never there.
never
This
at
is
the
this
trial.
is this something that he just added on his own accord, or maybe he had a conversation with Miss O'Connor and then she kind of elaborated on what happened inside the house that he added that at a later date? Why do you feel like that wasn't or was added?
Smart and O'Connor was seeing one another. So he
Mm-hmm.
was looking out for it. So they had already talked about what they was going to say on their deposition. Now, her deposition, she said she knew it was him at the door knocking because he has a foreign accent. But so she's lying her deposition because he was never there. This was 1056. And he's lying his deposition because he wasn't there. You see, because the only person who was there was Duber. Now, Colonel Burns is going to say that, oh, I live in the neighborhood, I was passing by, so I stopped by. Colonel Burns didn't get there until much later. If you notice on the CAT report, when I show you the CAT report, you're going to see there was a time they showed it, then it was a time that was erased that he was there. They falsified and covered up all kinds of stuff to protect the preferred person who worked for the chief of the fire department, Desi Barbara J. O'Connor.
Mm. Okay. Okay.
And
Okay.
listen, and it's all on my website. So you
Mhm.
can see I'm not making it
Oh,
up.
I,
It's in
I see
all the
you
things
attaching your website. Your website, you have a platform on YouTube. Normally I would end it by saying, give your information and everything, but since we got to do another one anyway, I'm gonna save it for that moment. And besides, you already mentioned your website, so it's a lot of things we still got to touch on and still got to elaborate on. But I don't want anyone to come in and tell you that your time is ended or anything like that. So we're gonna close out right now and just for one, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to interview you and you sharing your story because that it's wow, you're like the most impactful person I've had
right.
as a guest for me. So I want to thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to do this because oh my gosh, like to
Right.
make it through that. No, seriously, to make it through what you've went through. Like one of my questions was, have you suffered from PTSD? You know what I'm saying? Because that's a lot of things that you have to encounter and go through. And I'm sure every day you live in, you that plays in your head over and over and over. And I know you want to move forward, but you can't go forward without going backwards sometimes. And I think that that's something that you may or may not be struggling with.
Right. The
So.
only thing that empowers me to get over this are my brothers in the church and me staying focused and the Almighty God. That's what helps me. So many people believe that, oh, because you've been in prison now, you accepted God as your Lord and Savior. He was always there for me. If it wasn't for
Mhm,
him, I'd probably be dead. I probably would have made it
mhm,
through. You see,
mhm.
I wouldn't have the strength to push forward that I do every day. And I have the strength is only because of him. I don't care what you believe in. You can believe in the doorknob, all I care. But if you believe in something, it could lead you into the right direction.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I also had another question I wanted to hit on with you. Dang, it came in and it just went. Dang it, but it was about you finding your faith. But I swear to God, it's like I want to continue, but I'm trying to rear myself back because, like I said, there's so much I want to impact with you. But
You know what
I'm
I
gonna hold
want?
out,
But you know what
huh?
I want?
What's that?
Honestly, I ask God all the time. I said, Father, just send me a good woman in my life. You
Mhm.
see, and I know I know everything that I'm asking for is gonna happen sooner or later. It's gonna happen. It's nothing like being I don't want to be alone, and you
Mhm.
just don't have that contact, that relationship with somebody that you can talk to each and every day. I'm not mentally stimulated by being on the streets, around the people who I'm around. Receive no mental stimulation from that. When I leave and go to the beach or talk to people outside of that, I see a glow of people laughing, they're smiling, they're having a good time. But when you're living outside, people are depressed because they don't want to live that way or they can't dig themselves out of that.
Mhm.
You see? And that's a whole different story of being homeless. But see,
Mhm.
in me, I know I'm climbing out of it and each and every day. But people like you that interview people and hear their stories, they need me to be more people just like you.
Oh, I really appreciate that. Really, seriously, because this is why I made the platform that I have now with the Pushing Past Prison community. Because I know outside of my husband, outside of my brother, and people that I know extended from those situations, I know there's a lot of people who's going through injustice, going through their own trials and tribulations where they don't have that coverage of their story. That's why I always tell everybody, just spread the word. I'll interview anyone, but it has to make sense. For my channel, I can't talk about freaking going to the store, buying stuff. It gotta make sense. And my channel is based on prison. My channel is based on overcoming these obstacles, and I can't interview anyone without that struggle. I open the door for people who's visitors because I'm a visitor. I like to talk to people who have kids incarcerated, have like any type of connection from the incarcerated life. I like to discuss on this level because I like to see how it affects people on different grounds. You being in prison, you're a visitor, you're a mother of someone in prison, you're a cousin, you're a child. Like I want to get that whole concept of that, and that's why I take my channel very seriously. But the thing that I forgot and I just remembered to ask you, Randall, is don't be surprised if a lot of people want to tell your story. You might have to go through this again on their channel. This is the publication of being on the interview, because I've had people on my platform who got contacts and connects, or I had to reach out to them and be like, hey, this person want to interview you next. They're very interested in your story. So, don't get sick and tired of telling your story, because every time you tell it, it reach a new brand and another section of the audience, another platform, another level. So tell it like you told it the first time. The
Right.
way you gave it to us today, make sure you keep giving it. Don't feel like, well, I told it on this person's story, or this their person live or whatever, so I'm not gonna show this. I'm not gonna give it the same way with the same passion, because that's what brings people to you. You get what I'm
Right.
saying? So just want you to remember that.
I'm ready for anybody to call me. I mean, you can give them my number, my phone number, and call me my cell. I don't
Yep.
care. I'm ready.
Hmm.
I'm
Okay.
ready.
Okay.
If they want me to come to visit them in the state, just make it a means for me to get there, and I'll travel to come
I
there.
love it. I love
Yeah,
it, because you are literally a spokesperson for this. So you be surprised what doors may open. You talking about working for somebody. You may have your own business, being a national motivational speaker, because this
right.
is what this is. So remember that and keep your doors open. But I am going to talk to you off this, so I'm going to close out now. And again, thank you so much for doing this, and we're going to continue with a part two, and we're just going to set it up after we get off. So again, thank you so much, and guys, stay tuned. This will be posted on my social media platform, Pushing Past Pretty. Wow, Pushing Past Prison Community, and I go by the same name on all the social media sites. That is on YouTube. It's on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. I'm all over the social media sites, but my main sites that I like to post on is Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So that's what I will have it on. So again, thank you guys for watching, and we'll be back soon for the next one. Thank you again, and you guys have a good night.